Hey everybody, welcome to the Hoosier Adventure YouTube channel. My name's Jim, and if this is your first time visiting us, welcome. We greatly appreciate you stopping in and watching the video. And obviously, if you're a long-time return follower of our channel, we greatly appreciate that too. We like to have a lot of fun here. And so our channel is based on a lot of outdoor adventure stuff. However, I do a lot of hand-tied fishing jigs for crappie and bluegill and walleye and stuff. Crappie fishing is my passion. So I enjoy sharing some of what I do with all of you. And I love demonstrating how some of these jigs come to life. I posted a short little video the other day of this jig, and I'm very proud of it. It really does. It's super cool in the water, and the fish just absolutely love it. So I named this jig the Gizzard Shad jig. It's a swimming jig. It has, as everybody knows, this is a prodigy of the Badass jig. That whole series of jigs that I designed and have been using quite a bit, and they're doing phenomenal. This is just another product of that. This is a monkey milk tail. And we'll kind of go into how now this jig's been well fished. It's got some it's got some marks on it. Wonderful jig to use. Crappie love it. Tonight I'm going to show you guys how to tie this jig up. So let's kind of go over what you're going to need. Okay, you're going to need some hackle feather. Hackle neck feather, and you're looking for a black and a silver gray kind of color. Okay, and I have one laying here and don't know what happened to it. It's called a shad gray if you're getting it from Woods and Water Outdoors, which is a great place to purchase a lot of the supplies that I use. And we're looking for the points of these hackle feathers. We're only going to use a very small portion of the tip of it. And I'll show you how you can cut these and still utilize the rest of the feather so it doesn't go to waste. I'm using a 1/32 ounce round ball with a number 6 sickle hook. Jig head. I'm also using some scud nif skin for my tail, which is the exact same stuff that I provide the links for. I get it off of Amazon. It's really good material. I am trying to source this material in other colors because you are on a lot of the jigs that I build and stuff. I'm constraint to the tail color that this particular material comes in. So I've been looking for some additional colors and stuff. Your typical nif skin, which is kind of like your Kelly's nif skin, there's a lot of difference between the scud skin and just regular nif skin. Okay, the difference is density. Okay, I tried using this particular material as the regular Kelly's nif skin as a tail, but you can see the difference in the density of the product. Now, what makes the Badass jig the swimming action is that density. So this is a 3 millimeter material that has the density to provide the way the water catches it, to give it that live look in the water and create the vibration that I think really attracts the strikes with these jigs. So regular Niskin, you know, doesn't carry that kind of action. And it's very delicate. Some of the jigs that I built using the Kelly's Niskin, one strike and they were ripping the tails clean off of it. Where this stuff can take multiple hits and the jig seems to last and perform a lot longer. So, but anyway, basically what we're doing now is I'm going to turn my phone all the way off here, hopefully. All right. I'm using a 214D thread on this particular project. And then again, I'm using a medium Chanel body. This is this particular one is that shad color sparkle, silver sparkle in it. So it's got a real close resemblance to the monkey milk color. And let's see, and then I'm using a premium flash. It's a holographic silver. And then I'm also going to be using just a wee bit of this black silver flash. Now, again, flash goes a long way. So let's get into building this jig. As I start my jigs, I still haven't got my Loctite, I know. So I'm still using Rebecca's super glue here. Which is fine. You can use this. The gel's just a little bit less messy. That's why I like the Loctite gel. So put a little down your shank, and then we're just going to wrap our initial set right down to the hook point and then bring it back up. Now, there are some steps to this that's just a little bit different than typical, okay? So we're going to start with just a couple small short pieces of the silver and black. This is going to help set the transition in the water just a little bit for your tails. And again, a little bit goes a long way. So I'm just going to be using just a couple of strands here. So I'm just going to cut a couple strands off. I'm going to set that in the center of my shank, give it a loose wrap, and then cinch that down and keep it as close to center point on my shank as I possibly can here. And again, this is just to help your tail action in the water. Okay, the next step is we want to go with just a little bit of our crystal flash. Okay, this kind of sets the stage in the water like a wounded minnow, okay? So basically, if you ever seen a minnow that's disoriented, you know, it kind of flashes through the water and stuff, which attracts the predator fish or crappie and stuff. And again, this stuff goes a long way. And I'm on the firm belief that too much is can really scare the fish. So I'm looking for probably about 6 short pieces. And again, I just want to keep it right down the center part of that shank. Now here's what I'll tell you. This particular jig takes a lot of hits, so make sure that you're getting this stuff tied in real good. A couple whip finishes on it is going to help make it secure. Okay, so we've got kind of the basics of that particular body jig, that Gizzard Shad look, and you can see that the black helps break this down just a little bit. And again, we're probably a little long here on this stuff. Probably want to be in that kind of a general area right here, okay? The next step is we're going to add the swimming tails, okay? Now, I use the monkey milk for this particular one out of this package, okay? And again, I put all this stuff in the description where you can get it on Amazon, okay? I think it's roughly like $8 or so, $9 for that package. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slice the end so that it comes to a point. And the reason I'm doing that is because that's going to help me set that right along that shank of that of this hook, because I want to keep it very symmetrical. This is important in order to make sure that this jig, these tails, swim proportionately, okay? And then what I usually do is I'm just going to take my fingers and work it around. Measure it off a little bit here, right to the head. Okay, and now I'm going to create my point. Okay, hopefully you can see this. I ain't got my fat fingers too much in the way. And I'm going to lay that right there, and I'm going to secure this. Okay, now you want to grab this tail and pull it center as you wrap. And then bring it back nice and tightly, okay? So now that tail's pretty centered, okay? What I want to do now is I want to put a couple of whip finishes in here, again, just to get that locked down real nice and good, okay? I'm also going to add just a little bit of super glue here. I want to make sure that all this is nice and secure in here, all bonded together. You don't have to get too carried away with it. It'll soak in. All right. The next step is where our Gizzard Shad look across the back is going to come from. So we're going to start with our first feather. Now the feathers have to sit just inside of the tail, okay? So when you're cutting this, you want to make a V. Hopefully that did it. Well, a little bit. Kind of hard to do it precisely and show you at the same time. We're going to secure this one in, okay? And then what we're going to do is I'm going to cut this one kind of off back here so I can show you what it should look like. So you want to kind of go in between your feathers here till you form a V. We're going to secure that in there. Now we're going to wrap these all the way up to our tail point. And there we go. So if you look at a gizzard shad, it's got that silver black look to it across its back. And you got to remember, this is upside down. So when we're fishing this is the side that is our presentation side. Okay, so now we've got our feathers on there. Okay, let's put another couple whip finishes in there just to secure them. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to extract the jig out. Okay, this is where we're going to formulate our tail. Now when you're cutting this, you're going from point to point. So you're going to get as flush with the back as you possibly can. And you want to get this swim angle. Okay. This is what you end up with. So each tail's got that angle that water is going to feed off of. And what happens is these tails will open up in the water. Okay, they'll open up because of the way the water is hitting it. And I'll try to show this in a clip here. But the tails will open up and then they'll sit here and flutter back and forth. That creates the vibration. The flash creates the look. And obviously it's a free meal and they're all about that. Okay. Last step is we're going to put our chenille on there. Okay. I know that there's a lot of different ways guys do this, but this is how I do it. I like this way because it really secures your chenille and keeps it nice and tight. I want to take just a little pinch off of that. I want to expose that little piece of thread right there. I'm going to stick this almost right where I want that chenille to land on the body, okay? And I want to pull that down nice and tight, and then I'm going to pull the chenille towards me. I'm going to bring my thread back up and around and lock it in right there, okay? And then bring my thread all the way back down. That's really going to secure that chenille nice and tight. And then I'm going to start slow because I want to make sure that I'm aligned with the back of the body. And then I'm just going to roll my chenille nice and tight. I'm pulling down. Now when I tie in, my first tie is going to go around that chenille. And then I'm going to pull it in tight a couple times. Oops. I pulled too hard. But I like it tight. And tighten that vise just a little bit. All right. So I think it's chenille, if I remember right, from Woods and Water Outdoors, like a ghost shad color, but it's real close to that monkey milk. Final step is just whip tying your finals in here, about 4, 5, 6 of these. Really locks everything together, okay? And there you go, guys. The Gizzard Shad swim jig. And it's got that Gizzard Shad look to it. and the action's phenomenal. As this thing swims through the water, like I said, these tails open up a little bit, which exposes these different flash materials back here, and that hackle feather right there just gives it the buoyancy it needs and the look. So as it's going through the water, you know, it's jigging like this because of that cut. That's what pushes the tails apart in the water and gives it that action. So this is the angle that you're kind of looking for. So it's roughly probably about a 30-degree angle, but that's what you're looking at. This is a phenomenal jig, you know, all year long. You know, you can tie this jig. I've tied it down to 1/80th of an ounce. So even ice fishing, this jig could be one of your top producers. So it's an awesome jig. I call it the Gizzard Shad jig, and it's not hard to tie. Obviously, it just takes a little bit of practice. More or less on your angle cuts is probably the most difficult thing. And, you know, let's try a piece here. So basically what you're doing is when it's in that circle, okay, back here when you first tie it on, you're pulling it up nice and snug so that those ends come together. And basically what you're doing is you're creating right to that angle, just like that. And then you'll slice across it just like this. And that gives you that angle right there, which is, from all the testing I've done, is the best angle to give this jig the look that I think really makes it enticing to the crappie and the bluegill. And we've caught sawguy on it and walleyes on it. So very versatile jig. So I'm going to put up a quick video here. We're going to put it in the water, and I'm going to show you how this jig actually works. And hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you did, please do me a favor, give me a thumbs up. And if you're inclined, hit that subscription button and that notification bell. Guys, it helps the channel out a lot. And as we continue to grow the channel, the more thumbs up we can get, the more that YouTube continues to push our videos and stuff, the more content that we can put out to you folks and stuff. And here's the biggest part. It's free. All it takes is just a click of a button. And obviously, we'd love to have you be part of our adventure family. Hopefully, all of the fishermen out there and the new jig tires, and I encourage anybody, you know, to take up on it. And if you're looking for help, always feel free to email me at whozer.adv@gmail.com. I'm all about helping wherever I can and giving the best advice I can. Again, thanks for joining me tonight. Enjoy the video of this jig in the water, and hopefully all those that tie this jig, send me some pictures. Email me some of the pictures of your jigs. If you tie this jig up, I'd love to see it. I really would, and I'll share it here on the channel with other folks. You know, that's what I want to do. I want to inspire you guys to take this on and to enjoy these jigs and to catch a ton of crappie on them. So until next time, I greatly appreciate all of you being with me tonight. Tight lines to all of my fishermen. And please, always remember, be kind. Good night, everybody. Okay, guys, we're out here at the pond. And we're going to take a look at what this jig looks like in the pond now. The farmer just took the corn out, so I'm hoping I can show you how those legs on this jig open up. And that's what makes these particular jigs so effective. So hopefully you can see that, and I can get zoomed in on it. That tells you right there just exactly, you know, this is a smallmouth or largemouth bass, and look how he inhaled this. I mean, that's incredible. I'm not even sure I can. There it is. But I mean, they're inhaling it, and it's definitely that. It's definitely that tail action that really instigates the strike.